satisfied. And whether that means Kharkov or Kherson, there's also there's a lot of undercurrents going on here that even I didn't know about. There's a lot of undercurrents going on here. With once the Azeri oil started being blown up, I wrote an article this week. It's one of my magnum opus, or I guess opi. But it's about the Israeli-Ukraine connection. Yes. I was getting tired of people talking about this weird Russia-Israel alliance, and I was like, I'm not really seeing anything materially. Like they keep talking about it in like an emotional sense, right? There's Russians there, blah, blah, blah. They're not really Russians, they're Soviets, whatever. I don't need to go down that road. But I'm like, I'm not really seeing this materially. I'm actually seeing more so the opposite, especially with the linkage between Azerbaijan and Ukraine. So I started looking into this connection. It's very deep. The Israel-Ukraine connection. Yeah. What happened was someone sent me a rumor. This is what these girls do to me. They'll send me rumors, and then they'll say, did you hear about this? And they'll do it in hopes that I write an article about it. So what it was is they sent me this post that's out of nowhere, and it was this woman, and she said, I've heard a really wild theory that the reason why they want to freeze the conflict in Ukraine is so they can use those foreign mercenaries and all of the Ukrainian, like the well-trained ones, not the conscripts, but they could use the elite forces to augment and supplement the IDF. They need and then all the news came out this week about the IDF being very short, blah, 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 blah. I didn't find any evidence of that, but that encouraged me to jump down this rabbit hole because I was like, how would that even be a possibility? Like, why would that happen? They're very connected, more than I even knew. Like, even I was like, whoa. Like, they have an exchange program, they have visa-free programs between the two. They encourage cross-training, cross-pollination of fighters. They're sharing weapons, they're sharing tech, they're sharing intel, they're sharing missile systems, they're sharing everything, these two. I didn't know, but some of the lands that Russia has actually taken, they are literally Jewish strongholds, not just any Jews either. Chabad Jews. Now, Chabad Jews are the political, most like maniacal Zionist Jews. That's who's holding on to Kherson and Dnipropetrovsk. And so, I also didn't know, and I discovered it through researching this. I honestly didn't know this. Do you remember when Israel was saying that, we don't really want to send the Patriots? They were kind of hemming and hawing and all, and they made it to seem like we don't want to hurt Putin's feelings or really get involved with this. That is not why they didn't send them. They didn't send them because there's a Jewish pilgrimage site inside of Ukraine called Uman. It's where Rabbi Schneerson, Rabbi Schneerson, the one that Candace Owens loves to talk about so much, Rabbi Schneerson was born there, and it became a pilgrimage site for Jews. Well, they had stopped the pilgrimages because they said, the war is too much, blah, 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 blah. And we don't want to take an influx of all of these people because 50,000 people come, and they're like, we can't afford this. Well, Benjamin Netanyahu was like, I'll give you the Patriots if you open up the pilgrimage. And that's why he gave them the Patriots. They allowed them to go back to Uman. I had no idea about this. None.
Interesting. I did notice the axis that was taking place between Azerbaijan, Israel, and Ukraine. I mean, it seemed to be formulated. Like it just seemed to be.
That's my next project, is that unholy trinity, because there is something going on there. And if you watch, and I hate conspiracy theories, so please forgive me, but if you watch, and I put it in the paper as well, the map of Greater Israel, and they do have a concept called New Hazaria. Now, this is separate from the weird anti-Semitic Hazaria myth. This is completely different. And if you watch, if those two things start to expand and come together, where they meet in the very middle is Azerbaijan and Armenia, right there in the Caucasus. So if they can get Azerbaijan on their side and they can defang Armenia, which they've done with Trump's corridor project, and Iran is being isolated, for all intents and purposes, Israel and Ukraine border one another.
Do you think there's secret protocols in the deal between Armenia and Azerbaijan? This idea of, hey, if you allow this, because I know Azerbaijan, Istanbul hates your guts. If you allow this, maybe you'll get into NATO someday. we'll have military exercises. Those big bad Russians that didn't come to your assistance, we'd come to your assistance. Now, I would hope Armenia is smart enough to know
They're
that the
not.
West is never
Pashinyan is not smart enough. That's what I didn't think so either. I was like, what's up with this guy? And he's literally just a buffoon. He has a journalism degree. Could you imagine our journalism degrees holding presidential offices? He's got an American journalism degree. He has no idea what's going on.
You could learn, but he doesn't seem to have.
I don't think he wants to. He's almost like an ignorance is bliss type person.
I've heard that the Russians may not believe that any of this can come to pass. That the
corridor?
The corridor. That they're like...
Maybe an explanation for us to why they really haven't reacted to it. That's how Russians are.
They don't reacted to it.
How so?
I mean, the blowing up of the oil fields are going after that.
That was happening before. That was happening before, too.
From my understanding, the so-called oil field was off limits.
No, they bombed it in June.
Yeah, but how long have they been trying to... I guess how long have they been at odds with Azerbaijan where it's kind of inflamed?
Since the terrorist attack with the box trucks, Azerbaijan was involved in that.
Right.
And they know Azerbaijan was involved in the ambush that commenced the 12-day war. Azerbaijan was very involved in that. Plus, you had the downing of the jet. Russia and Azerbaijan haven't been on very good terms for a while. After their jet went down, which is still very suspicious, they've used that as a cudgel on Russia, very much so.
Well, Russia's been using Ukraine as a cudgel to go after them also without doing so directly. And they'd be like, hey, we don't want to upset our relations with Azerbaijan, our friends, even though they've done some unfriendly things to us. It's the way they talk diplomatically while simultaneously blowing up oil fields, blowing up buildings, going after, going after some of the Azeris that are in Russia itself. No, it's fascinating the way this is breaking down. I would say Azerbaijan better be careful. I mean, now, Iran is already saying, we will go, we don't need Russia. We will go if you F with us. And up to this point, the Russians they've been very slow to respond. I mean, the corridor is a big deal. I don't know. I agree with you. I don't know why
that corridor matters to a lot of superpowers as well. Now, realize that Armenia is a very staunch ally of India, surprisingly, but China also supports Armenia. China came out recently backing India, saying, we support India's sovereignty. They're allowed to do what they want in regards to the oil. India is in Russia right now talking about what was the quote Jai Shankar said? This is a multipolar system of relations that we are building with an increasing role played by the SCO, BRICS, and the G20.
Yes.
So they're forging more. They're forging ahead, and India intends to continue to buy Russian oil. This could really, really catalyze into a type of world. I think we already are in World War III, but for the lay people, it will look more like World War III. I do think some sort of conflict will break out in the Caucasus, but that place has been waiting for a conflict for a very long time.
I guess it depends on how long it takes a reaction. Like if Russia waits,
did you see the cargo planes? Russia's been sending cargo planes to Iran almost daily for a week now.
I saw. And I'm glad you mentioned that. So one of the guys was making the point. Okay, two things. One, Channel 14 is where they were talking about the weaknesses in the Israeli military, and they point out this was a bluff. Netanyahu was saying they were calling up 200,000 people. This was nonsense. He's very passionate about murdering Palestinians, apparently, but put that to the side.
לא היינו מצעירים על כיבוש העיר עזה, היינו מצעירים על כיבוש כל רצועת עזה, ואז אולי היית מקבל את כל החטופים. למה הלכנו על מהלך של שליש מהעבודה? למה? איפה ההיגיון פה? אם אנחנו באמת חמאס בלחץ אטומי, כמו שטוען נתניהו, אני אגב מסכים איתו שהוא בלחץ אטומי, כי לקחת לו עכשיו את העיר עזה זאת מכה קשה. זאת מכה קשה. אז למה אנחנו מכפילים את המכה הזאת פי 3? למה לא לבוא עכשיו בצורה מקבילה על 3 המחנות? למה? זו טעות שלנו.
אולי אין לנו מספיק כוח.
יש לנו הכל, עזוב אותך. יש כל.
ראיתי שמגייסים יהודים בחוץ לארץ, כן מספיק.
לא מגייסים אף אחד, הנה גם אמרו 250,000, בסוף מתברר רק 60,000.
They claim 250,000. That's a lot of wood to chop. They claim 250,000 they were only able to get 60,000. It was
Mhm.
all a big bluff. I have never seen somebody that passionate about murdering human beings. And people say, I talk fast. That
Well, you
guy
haven't watched enough Israeli TV then, because
is
there
not.
are there's so many like that. I mean, yesterday we were on the radio, ordered Strouk, which is, she's a maniac, but she's the minister, the Israeli minister of settlements, because she is like, let's put a settlement on everything. But yesterday the guy was like, well, what if they voted to do the gods, or what if they voted to continue the war? Because she was like, I want to continue the war. And he was like, what if the vote was you continue the war, and the hostages will probably die, or we'd continue the way we are and do a ceasefire and get the hostages back. She said, I would vote to continue the war even if the hostages die, and I'm not the only one.
Of course. Yeah, that's assumed. I assume that.
They walked out of the talks yesterday. Witkoff walked out, and then I don't know who he's frustrated with. I'm thinking it's the Israelis, because the Israelis literally said, we're not even going to respond. We are going to start the assault on Gaza tonight. And instead of responding to the ceasefire and Hamas's, you're fine, Hamas's agreement, they literally said, we're officially ignoring it. We will not respond to that.
What do they think?
They're wasting everybody's time. And Witkoff walked out of the meeting and withdrew from the talks.
What do they think the Hannibal Directive is? Like, do they think Israel is joking about that? Like, whether it's we're firing tanks.
I don't know what these Americans think.
It's weird. It's like they showed
do they not know they're dealing with like a maniacal rogue state that will kill its own people and us if it has to?
They showed that guy starving to death.
Well, did you see? And I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but they burned a red heifer this last week, which is part of their sort of end of times prophecy. And I'm like, what are you guys doing? Like, I don't believe in this stuff. I'm not woo woo and all of that, but
they do though.
They do. And they'll try to facilitate the end of the world. And I was like, well, what happens now if you burn the red heifer? They're like, we build the third temple and destroy Al-Aqsa Mosque.
They were breeding those effing things.
They're burning them now, and they're like, certain people have these ashes, and they're walking around with the ashes. They're giving the ashes to influencers, to Jewish influencers, so they can go around and talk about it on podcasts. Whether it's a bluff or not, I don't think we should treat it as such, because they do say that next they will destroy Al-Aqsa and build the third temple.
No, what I mean is, I don't think that. No, just to be clear, religious maniacs are religious maniacs. Mm-hmm. I don't think they're bluffing. I think you have true believers in some of these people who they were literally breeding red heifers in Texas. Mm-hmm. And it's like, dude, what the hell are you doing? It's like, even a miracle needs a hand.
Yeah, and exactly that. So I was talking to like a Christian who's very well versed in this stuff, and he's like, well, you know, they have to do it the right. Like, you could hear the fear in his voice, like, because he's a true believer, not in of their stuff, but that like the end of times doctrine, and he could hear him. He was like, okay, but they didn't use the right kind of cow, and then the Jewish person was like, yes, they did, and he's like, they didn't use the right kind of priest either, and the Jew was like, yes, they did, and the Christian was like, freaking out, because he's like, the end times are coming. Like, this is bad news bears, because we've got maniacal.
I mean, he's a Christian. He's supposed to be taken up with Jesus.
I don't know, dude. I don't know these. I just know what I believe as a Catholic, and that's enough for me. I don't worry about these crazy end of times things. You're not supposed to facilitate the end of times. You're not supposed to try to guide the hand of God. But I guess the Israelis think that they can. I don't know. My issue, my thing is that even if the woo-woo stuff doesn't happen and there's no magic and the God and all that stuff doesn't happen, they're still going to destroy Al-Aqsa Mosque with their hands. They've been putting bombs underneath it for like forever. So what happens if they destroy Al-Aqsa Mosque?
I would be more amenable to the point of view as opposed to this kind of mystical God coming back over something like that. And I don't even believe this, so I'm just saying. If it's a UFO, like a UFO comes down and they look up and be like, oh my God. And it's just, you know, it's like the world has reconciled itself with that, whatever that means. Because I'm saying, if it's the end of the world stuff that these guys are coming up with, and they're trying to make this argument of this mystical argument where we destroy this, we get the red heifer, we build the temple, the world comes to nuclear war or something. I guess something has to happen for it to come to nuclear war. God comes back and he disappears 2% of the population of the planet, because I don't know how much of the population are Christians in real terms. And the rest of you just die screaming on a hellhole with Satan roving the earth. Is that really what they want? Like, that's the part that blows my mind. It's like the people who are pushing this stuff is like, what are you actually pushing? What are you actually saying? The number of people who they are effectively willing to cast off under their religious belief is astonishing. It's astonishing, but they believe it.
Well, I have some breaking good news. So last night, the Russians hit Zakarpattia, which is very far west. They don't usually hit it. And I was kind of wondering what was going on. So that's
the Zelensky says coffee factory, right? He said
no, it was a missile. It was a factory called Flextronics, which is owned by a U.S. company. So now that's interesting. I'll have to.
That's the coffee making company. That's the coffee making company. Zelensky said that Putin knew that he got his coffee from there, and he blew that place up. There is no way that place. Yes, I can show you the smoldering wreckage. There is no way that place was just doing coffee.
Yeah, Flextronics looks like it's they're affiliated with Brazil, and their electronic manufacturing services for aerospace defense. Yep, it's more military stuff. Yep.
There it is.
Russia.
Like, yeah, man, he blew up my coffee making place.
Oh, shut up. What are you trying to get sentimental? I'll blow up your Dunkin' Donuts. Like, get out of here. That's my coffee place. Change your sweatshirt. How about that? Worry about coffee.
Well, he went, to be fair, he went in a suit.
Oh, yeah, that's right. He looked like Johnny Cash's like puppet. He looked like a marionette of Johnny Cash. It looked so ridiculous. It was so funny.
Can I hit you with one more thing for Lebanon?
Yeah, go ahead.
You guys put this video up. I sat here and I was like, there's no way. There's no way. I was supposed to hit this one late this morning. But you are here, and what time is it? Okay, this can be the last thing. So this is Lebanon's, I believe, prime minister, I believe. Let me find it. Because there's a difference between the two.
They have a president and a prime minister, yes, yeah.
Right, but one is has credibility, the other one is a Western puppet. And
he's the Western puppet. He's from the ICC. He stepped down from the ICC. Well, they both are now. Joseph Ayoun is now kind of a little bit of a puppet, but he's more so.
Yeah. And let a Zionist take over his role at the ICC.
Yep. That was the point, right? We'll make you president. You got to step down so we can put this maniac Zionist in charge of the ICC.
Yeah, but what's the point of being president if you have no power? That's the whole, like, it's one thing if I'm president and have power, have control. He is about to, I don't even think it's going to be a civil war. It's more likely that Hezbollah takes over as opposed to a civil war. I could be wrong on this, but everybody that I talk to that's from Lebanon is like, there's no way. There's no way. The people are not necessarily going to back this nonsense that this guy's effectively putting out. Half of the military would effectively leave. I mean, maybe the whole point is chaos, but this is delusional. I just want to point out to the audience, this is completely delusional. Can everybody see it? Okay, good.
لا أول مرة أقول لك إذا إسرائيل ما التزمت بما هو مطلوب منا.
Okay, you will take my word for it. He's effectively making the argument that Lebanon Prime Minister of Israel violations if Hezbollah hands over its weapons. He says for the first time, if Israel does not comply, there will be consequences, which is condemnation by the UN Security Council. So just to be clear, the Lebanon that has been attacked continuously through a ceasefire is saying, we've only been attacked because Hezbollah has their weapons. And if Hezbollah gives up their weapons, Israel will leave us to our devices. And if they don't, the UN Security Council, which a member is the United States, will totally get involved and wrap them on the knuckles. He's saying that with a straight face.
Yep. These people are so brainwashed, liberalized, that they're like, our liberal institutions still work. They still do things.
You really think he believes that?
Well, I mean, he used to work for the ICC, so he has some amount of buy-in at least. Whether it's real or not, he has some amount of buy-in.
Sarah, the United States was at the ICJ court and made the argument that Israel has the right to starve 2 million people. The US, when it finally was shamed into passing a UN Security Council resolution under Joe Biden, came out and said, this resolution is not binding. So we need to pay no attention to this resolution. That guy, honestly, like I can't believe he believes that. Am I just that simple?
That's the thing, though, and I encounter these often where, like, sorry, my dog is being awful this morning. Where like I'll meet Beltway people. I call them Beltway bandits or Beltway bimbos, or the people that kind of the DeVos people, and I'm like, you don't really believe this, do you? And some of them I don't think they do, but they're just there to hold the line, and they'll say the most crazy things, like crazy things. So these liberalized, sort of institutionalized people, I don't know if they even care to believe the stuff they say. They just say the things they're supposed to say. You have to remember, not everybody can critically think like you and I. Like, not everybody like sits around and like actually thinks about stuff. I think you're being too lenient with people. Like, most people are not smart.
But how? How on earth? This guy, okay. He has seen Lebanon for the course of the last, I don't know how many years. Mm-hmm. He has seen Israel bomb repeatedly. He is watching a genocide take place literally in Gaza, mm-hmm. with the United States making every argument in the world, acting as if, no, those babies just have cerebral palsy. That's all. There's nobody starving. Mm-hmm. He's seen this with his own eyes. I can't believe that he believes what's coming out of his mouth right now. I just can't. There's nothing in me that believes that he believes what's coming out of his mouth. You might be right. That's breathtaking if that's true. That's breathtaking. Oh, that's breathtaking.
Have you ever met our Beltway lobbyists? They're the same way.
No,
all these people that go to school in Georgetown, Columbia, Pashinyan went to Columbia. All these people are just, they find these useful idiots and they pluck them out and they give them free educations, and then they're sort of brainwashed, or they're drones. I mean, there's a huge divide in Lebanon. I don't want to get down around the rabbit hole. I know we're ending, but there's a huge divide in Lebanon, and people say it's north and south, but it's more so a people versus the state in a way. Like, these higher up state officials have never really been in tune with the people of Lebanon. So, yeah. And as far as civil war, the vibes that I'm getting are that the people themselves even the army doesn't want Hezbollah disarmed. It's just the politicians. So there's a big schism there. Even the people that are against Hezbollah for all intents and purposes don't want them disarmed because they're afraid of Israel, and rightfully so. I mean, just look next door to Syria.
Yeah, and they better be afraid of Syria. It's Wahhabis.
Okay, that's next. Yeah, they're on the border. They're on the border, waiting to come into Lebanon. Yeah, they've artillery staged on the border of Lebanon. It's insane.
Yeah, yeah, it's just amazing. Like, everybody that I've talked to has made the point of saying, we don't believe for a moment that the government is going to have the power to do what the government is trying to do, even if they pass it into law. We don't believe that that's going to take place, that the population and they said they would occupy governmental institutions before it ever gets to that point, before they are allowed to throw Lebanon into that much turmoil. So from their mouth to God's ears, I hope they're right, because Jesus, it's just chaos. And that guy needs to be out of power. I can't believe he was able to get in power. Can't believe it. Not saying so stupid shit like that. Okay. Sarah, you're fantastic. I always enjoy talking to you. Is there anything that you want to hit before we go? I want to make sure.
Guys, go read the article. I know it looks kind of like corny, like activism. It's not. It's not about like resistance or anything like that. People were like, oh, this is like, they thought it was like Gaza, Donbass, like fighting together. No, this is about the connectivity between Israel and Ukraine. Please read it. I promise you, everybody that has read it has come to me and said, holy crap. And everything's sourced. There are links throughout. I don't want to hear it. but it's really a wild ride. I didn't know they were this close, and it
Guys
actually.
went fast. They're working together. Is that what they said?
Yeah, that's what they said to me. They were like, "This is so corny." I was like, "That's not what it's about. Like, why would I do that?" But yes, contracts, weapons, intelligence, fighters, everything. They're sharing everything.
Oh, I see what you mean. Okay, because you're talking about Gaza, and they think you might be on. Okay.
Yeah,
Fair
they
enough.
thought it was like an activism. I'm like, I'm not gonna write a 9-page thing about activism. Get out of here.
You would be feeling yourself. You would be really feeling yourself. It's like, God damn it, I'm in my zone.
Yeah, right.
I'm gonna save the world. Yeah, there was this woman. I was talking to KJ No the yesterday, and KJ pointed out, what did he say? When a woman, it's so epic. He said, when a woman tells the truth, the world cracks in half. I was like, whoa, she's feeling herself when she wrote that.
I don't know who wrote that, but geez.
That's intense, right?
Yeah, well, it's like Mao's women hold up half the sky.
Yeah, but that's 50%.
Yeah, well, that's pretty. I mean, that's actually like that's kind of hit me a little bit because I get so
Really?
much. I get more shit than any man that says the same things I do. So it's like very interesting.
I feel like I get more shit than newsmen.
You do,
but it's a hell of a quote. It's a hell of a
I
quote.
love that. I might make that my email signature. I love that. Thank you very much. You've made my day.
It's very epic,
Mhm.
but it's like you think, what's the headspace of the person who's writing that?
I'm gonna research it first because knowing
so
me, I'll
epic.
post it and they'll be like, "This woman was having a nervous breakdown." Like, perfect.
That is so goddamn epic. When a woman takes the truth, the world falls, and she's like, "Yeah, that's what I want to get across." These fucking men. Sarah, editor, creator, DD Geopolitics. You guys have a show also though. You guys do a lot of Twitter Spaces,
and we're gonna start doing a midweek show with Chris Halali when he's back from traveling. So he's in Greece right now. But yeah.
Oh, that should be interesting. He's like, these fucking Israelis, they're trying to take over.
Yeah.
Oh, did he? He said that?
Yeah. And they're all over Cyprus and Greece. It's a mess. It's a mess.
The new Gaza. Sarah, thank you for this. You be safe, okay?
You too.
And if you give me...
I'll just stay after. Yep.
Or I can hold you in the penalty box.
Yep.
I only have like 2 chats, so it's only going to be a minute.
Okay, guys. Love you. Have a good weekend, and I will see you here on Thursday.
Next week, yes. All right. Talk to you in a few. All right, guys. We have come to the end. We have come to the